Now, I just thought I'd fill you all in. If you're a subscriber of mine, or if you've watched a few of my vids, you know I study law, or I've had a lot of fun filming the cops and other public agencies throughout the years. And I do a lot of P.I.P.P tests, or photography in public places tests. And of late I've had the ability to spend 1 hour every 3 times a week, in some cases, to be around Henderson. So I've done a few.
Take the next left onto State Highway 16.
Excuse that. So I've got to take a few laps around Henderson lately now. This is in relation to.
Continue on State Highway 16 for 2 kilometers.
This is in relation to Waitakerei District Court. Building service manager there is P.I.P.P Coleman. Now, I've recorded numerous times throughout the years at that courthouse. Even back since 2012, I think was the first time I recorded inside that place. And when I say inside, I mean in the publicly accessible areas where I too am being filmed by their security cameras. But that's beside the point. Walking around there of late, on the 19th I went past. In fact, I stumbled into a bro that ended up looking up my channel and subscribing on the spot when he saw me walking past, and that was directly outside the Waitakerei District Court on the public sidewalk. I didn't get harassed, didn't get bothered, nothing. Then I went back on Friday the 21st of September, and I did another lap. I was looking for Team Traffic hardware at the time, and I walked past there because I had some time to kill. Still had like 10 minutes until I had to go, and I went back, and that's when...
600 meters at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on State Highway 16.
And that's when I got approached by what I can only say is a very small Maori court security officer with a Napoleon complex. She came out barking orders, asked me who I was.
Yeah. Who are you?
What was I doing?
And what are you doing?
Told me I needed permission.
I'm filming the signs on your door at the moment.
I'm sorry, you have to have permission to do that.
And told me I was, people are getting upset.
Because there's public that come out, and that's their privacy that needs to be protected.
You're aware there's
Are you going to argue with me, sir? Because I will...
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you aware there's no expectation of privacy in public?
Listen, there are people that are coming out of the court that do not wish to be filmed.
Not that I doubt she actually even spoke to a member of the public about being
Exit the
recorded.
roundabout onto State Highway 16.
And
Continue on State Highway 16 for 2 kilometers.
fucking GPS is annoying sometimes. And then she started telling me that she wasn't going to argue.
Am I being...
Don't argue with me, sir.
I'm not arguing, I'm asking you a question.
So
Do you not
you're gonna wait
understand
for
the
the
difference
police?
between an argument and a question?
Security yourself.
Whereas I was clearly asking questions. Although I would point out the word argue, as we all know, means to clarify. So if she's coming out telling me I need permission on a public sidewalk to do a perfectly legal and lawful activity, then I need to know a bit more clarity. I need to know where she's deriving this sense of privacy from. Needless to say, she came out, did a little bark like a little chihuahua. She had the 2 Rottweilers behind her, and yeah, that was that. So as I didn't have the time, she did the old threat. Now, of course, this causes me alarm and distress. I'm doing absolutely nothing wrong, and they're coming out, exceeding their authority, barking orders at the public, and yeah, just basically they had no right to do what they did.
600 meters at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on State Highway 16 heading to Waitakerei City, Auckland.
If you're not allowed to record outside that courthouse, then much like the many other signs they have plastered all out the front, like no smoking, and I would point out I can stand on that sidewalk and have a fucking cigarette all day long. I've done it many times. I've just not stood in their little foyer area or entrance area before the doors and done it. Because I know where the boundary lines are, as so should they. So yeah, if they had an issue with people taking fucking photographs or videoing them, then perhaps they should put up signs like no photography. Anyway, so she comes out, does a little barky thing, threatens to call the cops, which causes me alarm and distress. Every time I tried to walk away, she said, oh, you're not going to wait for the cops then.
Oh, you're not going to wait for the police?
You know, made it look like she was dead serious that she was going to call them, and which just made me fucking laugh. And yeah, I walked off because I just didn't have the time, and there's no point in the cops coming out to chase me down for doing something perfectly legal. So, when I had to go back on Monday the 24th this week, I went fully kitted out with all the gears, and literally within 10-15 seconds of standing there and actually aiming my camera at the doors and the entranceway from the public sidewalk, a white, somewhat guy that needs to perhaps go to the gym a bit more came out and started telling me again that I needed permission.
Okay, mate.
How are you?
Good, mate. Have you got permission to film camera?
I don't need it on public footpath, mate.
And this time, you see that this guy wasn't just a little chihuahua barking, he actually used legislation, although incorrectly. He stated under the Privacy Act 1993, under third-party information, I wasn't allowed to do what I was doing.
It's in the Privacy Act.
I've read it quite. You mean in 1993?
Yeah. Well, that's the only Privacy Act I'm aware of.
Yeah. What section are you referring to?
I'm referring to the section that, about third-party information.
Again, he doesn't know what I was doing. He doesn't know what I captured. He has no idea what my purpose is there.
You're going to distribute it on the internet or make it public, so that's third-party. You don't need permission.
Well, that's an assumption on your part.
Well,
It's purely assumption or presumption on his part. I doubt he's legally trained, or actually, and I won't say understand, but comprehends the Privacy Act. And I didn't capture any private information of anybody. It's that simple. So there is no Privacy Act issue. When I brought up the Bill of Rights Act, he failed to see the relevance.
Are you aware of the Bill of Rights 1990 section 14?
what's that? How does that refer to anything we're talking about?
Okay, the Bill of Rights section 14 means anybody
I'm
has
not
the
gonna stand here and argue.
Well, you wanted to
Okay.
recite an act to me, so you have the
Well,
decency
yeah,
to listen to what I have to say.
Well,
Bill of Rights
it's
section
not
14,
decency, it's relevance.
relevant, section 14 states,
Everyone has the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and opinions of any kind and in any form. It's that, which means I can stand on a fucking public sidewalk and use my camera and film a public building with publicly paid fucking funded security there. So he came out again, did the whole we'll let the police decide.
Look, we'll let the police.
cool, call the police and I'll have them educate you in public photography.
So unlike last time, I didn't walk off. I had an hour to kill, so I stood out there with various angles. He said that the court maintained the sidewalk.
Do you realise this is a public sidewalk? And where do the people coming out of there,
You're following the court.
where do the people coming out of there derive their authority?
Functional area of the court.
This footpath is the functional area of the court.
It's the serviceable area of the court.
Okay.
By obstructing
Looks
it.
like a footpath to me.
So therefore, he had authority, and that's where he believed, without any fucking evidence, that I needed permission. So I stood out there and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. 3 cop cars drove past me in that time.
Nasty cop. What's he gonna do?
Apparently the cops have been called, I'm just waiting. I think there goes one now. Nobody's going to pull him. Ah, keep driving past. As I'm getting in the car, out they come.
None of them a second, well, they might have given me a second glance, but certainly none of them stopped. I wonder why. So even though I wasted 45 minutes of my time as far as they're concerned, because I'm just standing there waiting for the cops, the court security officer again caused me alarm and duress by saying he's going to call the cops on me for doing legal activity. This is the second time in 4 days. I waited. No cops showed up. But just as I was packing up, there was a Rastafarian looking dude that came out of the courthouse, and I don't know if he was having a bad day or what, but there was some words exchanged between him and the court security. And then he walks off down to his van, which was parked just down past where the bus stop is. And he gets in his van. What amazed me is Rottweiler number 3, I think it was. Decided to go chasing him down the sidewalk like a fucking dog, a rabid dog, saying, "What are you scared of? Come on, bro!" And tried to taunt a member of the public back to have a fucking full-on fight with him. The guy pulled out his van and he called him to come and park in the bus stop so he could then shout some more abuse at the guy before he drives off.
Disgraceful!
But that was totally unprofessional for a court security officer to chase down a member of the public or walk after taunting a member of the public for a fight. What the fuck? That's unbelievable. Now, bear in mind, before I went back there on the Wednesday, I emailed Philippa Coleman, the building services manager, explained how unimpressed I was with one of her court security officers, i.e. the little chihuahua, coming out and barking shit at me and basically just being full of shit. And then this was about 11 o'clock in the morning, so 4 hours before I even showed up, and said to her, "Can you please make sure this doesn't happen again?" But it happened again. And then I captured them coming out and chasing, wanting to pick fights with members of the public. What the fuck? So, although this is all stemmed from a photography in public places test, I'm going to do a little special, you know, as I do, sort of segment on Waitakerei District Court. Let you know all about the emails, everything I've sent, and it'll all be included probably in this video. And you can feel free to comment if you need to. Email Philippa. It's philippa.coleman, COLEMAN, @justice.gov.nz. That is her public email that members of the public can contact her through. You can call the call centre and ask them for a direct number to contact Waitakerei District Court, and they don't have one to give out. And they're also under the impression that I need permission to be recording inside that publicly accessible building. The only place you need permission, or in their rules anyway, to record is inside the fucking courtrooms, where the judge the presiding judge has the jurisdiction to allow that to happen or not, and trample over your rights if he sees fit. What he doesn't have is jurisdiction in the publicly accessible areas outside of the courtroom, and the registrar or building services manager, the only legal and lawful requirements in a public building is that members of the public act lawfully, which I'm doing. So there's been no offence, no infringement, no breach of any act. There's been nothing committed on my part, but as I see it now, given Friday and Wednesday, excuse me for a moment, as I see it now, given Friday and Wednesday, they've now harassed me twice for doing a perfectly lawful activity. Now, under the Harassment Act 1997, you see where I'm going here? Under the Harassment Act 1997, any person that causes another person to fear for their safety or be alarmed or cause duress, or I'm not sure on the exact wording, I don't know this one verbatim, but basically more than twice in 12 months is considered harassment, and depending on what it is, it can be criminal harassment. So, not if, when I go back to Waitakerei District Court, it won't be today because I've got...
Keep right and stay on State Highway 16, follow signs for National Route 9, St. Luke's Road.
So, what I'm going to do is go back there on Friday, that'll be the 28th, Friday the 28th of September.
Keep right to stay on State Highway 16.
Okay. I've emailed Philippa and had no response from her. Granted, I didn't do a failure to
Continue on State Highway 16 for 6 kilometers.
Granted, I didn't do a failure to respond notice at the bottom of the email, but I'll be sure to do that next time. See if I get a response then. Okay guys, so the email, or the second email I sent Philippa on the 28th at 1:20 in the afternoon reads as follows. Greetings Philippa and whomever it may concern. On the 24th of September, I emailed you to inform you of being harassed by your Waitakerei District Court security officers while recording on a public sidewalk. Here is that interaction, and I send her the link. On Monday the 24th of September, I returned and again was immediately harassed by another court security officer, who again threatened to call the police on me, again causing myself to fear for my safety, distress and alarm. Clearly you did not understand my previous correspondence. The court security officer on Monday stated that the MOJ, or Ministry of Justice, maintained the public sidewalk and that again I needed permission to record, also referring to an unknown section of the Privacy Act, claiming I was in breach of. Please explain what section is he referring to, and I sent her a link to the Privacy Act 1993. That interaction, along with my capturing of another court security officer following and taunting a member of the public down the sidewalk trying to pick a fight, will be published very soon. I will send you the link when this is done. I will be returning for a third time to attempt to capture footage without interruption. Should another instance of court security officers coming out to me on the sidewalk, lying due to ignorance or being misinformed happen, this will be deemed as harassment and I will be calling the police myself as you have chosen to remain silent. See the Harassment Act 1997, where 2 or more instances within 12 months can be deemed as harassment if what your officers do cause myself to fear for my safety. And I send you a link to the legislation, notably sections 3 and 8. Explain what on earth these court security officers are thinking, their unprofessional and demeaning behaviour, and how they can use threats to attempt to encourage compliance to their unreasonable expectations. Notice, failure by Philippa Chapman of Waitakerei District Court to respond within 10 days shall be construed that Philippa Chapman is aware of the unlawful actions of Waitakerei District Court security officers and chooses to ignore their unprofessional conduct, their exceeding of their scope of authority and boundaries when interacting with members of the public conducting lawful activity in a public place. Warm regards, me. So yeah, I'll see what goes on. Hopefully by Friday, I'll have a bit more edited up. I don't know if I'll have it all uploaded, but I'll definitely have it a lot more of it edited up. I'm halfway through the 21st now doing that one. And you guys can all judge for yourself. 0800 268787 is the 0800 number for the courts. If you want to ring them and ask them about it. But yeah, I'm not the type of guy to just lie down and say thank you sir, may I have another. And these guys need to learn their boundaries, their scope of authority, and what they can and can't do when people are doing absolutely nothing fucking wrong, like me. So that's the little update. Hope you guys follow, watch, subscribe, share, don't share. It's all good. Until then, next time I catch you all, which will probably be later today at the price of gas video, I'll see you then. Bye now.